My royals, honorable greetings. Yours truly here, Her Highest Imperial Majesty, Goddess M.D.A, Trinity L, also known as Ternicka Mahabal, Indigenous Sovereign Diplomat, as well as the Sovereign Governor General, Chieftess, Goddess, Countess, Queen, Empress of the Indigenous peoples. Okay, the First Nation representative as well. All right. So yesterday we had a meeting. Right? Things has been active. Politics. The political season is here. You have a meeting with Sandals right here, Allodial, Tobago. You know, a lot has been going on. So my whole question pertaining to this is whether or not it is inclusive. All right. So from what I've seen as the list of beings who have been present has been like the MPs. We've had representing minister from the Tobago House of Assembly, as well as other secretaries and stakeholders and such. Okay. Now, where are the inclusiveness of other NGOs and other entity spaces who would have been great to be a part of this meeting to know exactly what is occurring on their motherland as well? We have the Tobago Branch Association Village Council, all right, where it's a compilation of all the village councils together, all right, and this has an executive body entity. We have the Indigenous community. We have the African Community Society as well too. We have other cultural spaces, because when Sandals arrive here, should it be an entity space that is seeking to add to the socio-economical diversity of our motherland here on Allodial, Tobago, then it would be amazing to have the activeness of our native beings in the space, and for it to not be excluding some of the NGOs who would be very much pivotal and active there, pivotal to the importance of being present there, hands on. Okay, so we have many things going on, and there are beings who may say, yeah, she's sick, then she asking what's that thing, she always creating a whole set of, she always miserable. Have nothing to do with any of that. It have nothing to do with any of that, because from what I observed over time, for a great deal of years, from a young royal to now, is that there has been many hiccups pertaining to the negotiation of our resources. So do we now arrive in 2025 and repeat the same cycle dynamics? No. It wouldn't be sensible to do such. All right, at this point, it is better for us to solve the issue more so than contribute to the downfall of our socio-economical diversity. And socio-economical diversity has nothing to do with just buildings, all right? It has many things to add in the whole rotational cycle of our assets, as well as our finances, and who are the main beneficiaries in every single thing that is implemented as a project. Okay? So I asked the question, pertaining to on behalf of myself as Indigenous Chieftess and Sovereign Governor General, I had asked the question, as in, who have they communicated with regarding this whole meeting with Sandals? And it is not to be in any egoist standpoint, because it has nothing to do with ego, yet rather following the guide of my spirit and soul in the purest form, in the aspect ratio of truth. Because in the operation of truth, we shall be set free from all shackles mentally and spiritually. Okay? So we need not to repeat the whole hiccup of continuing a cycle that takes away the benefits from the people who are the Republic of the nation. We are the Republic of our nation and the national sovereigns of our sovereignty. All right? We have citizens as well around us, no problem. Okay, and it's for us to ensure that every single being, especially the native people of the motherland, are the main beneficiaries. Okay, so we should not have a circumstance where you implement and set this in operation, and then when it is here, the people from your own land aren't able to even access or even benefit in great abundance from this project. All right, and this is something that is very much important. Okay, we have had many things occurring. We have had a sugarcane. This is no longer here where we were. We actually had production. It's no longer here. We have had a refinery as well too, Petrotrin, no longer here. We have the circumstance with the pitch lake as well too. You know, and coming home again to Tobago, coming over to Tobago here in Alubera. We have our beach spaces, you know, that we have a lot of influx from beings traveling, whether it's in between to and from the islands, you know, or even regionally and internationally as well too. And then it is being secretly privatized, just like that. What I've realized is that there is a notion here on the land of Alubera that indigenous peoples never existed. And this is something that is a big question mark to me, because I am, you know, processing and you know, processing, and I even asking the question, should it not have indigenous beings here ever? Would it then suggest that civilization began with slaves and slave trade? Is this what you are telling me? That civilization started with slaves and a slave trade here on Alubera? This is not the truth. This is not the truth. All right? And perhaps this is one of the reasons why there are beings in a corporate government state entity who take advantage of the people. They take advantage of the people by draining out our resources for their own benefits, for the benefits of a small sector of beings to be the beneficiaries, more so than the actual nation itself. And this should not be this should not be the circumstance. I have seen as well too a post a few days ago pertaining to our actual GDP, or annual GDP, and it is said to be at a certain percentage ratio in the billions capacity, and this is what we are earning every year. And with this earning every year, it is also in the scope where with this earning, every living being on the land of Kairi, misnomer Trinidad, as well as Alubera, misnomer Tobago, has the will capacity to earn at least $20,000 every month. So, what then are some of these corporate government ministers really telling us in the form of truth? Is it that they themselves are adding to the whole slave trade in this modern day slave trade capacity? Is it that circumstance? Because to tell me that indigenous people has not existed here is saying to me that everything began with slaves and a slave trade, and that no royal being has ever existed. And this is incorrect. All right? The indigenous peoples or natives has the highest jurisdiction of protection and security of the motherland. Okay? And I want you, my fellow royal beings, to do the research the United Nations Indigenous Declaration of the Peoples, as well as the American Declaration of the Indigenous Peoples as well too. And the whole reason for this is for us to be aware and to know the truth, so that we are adding greater wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to ourselves, so that we know who we are. And by knowing who we are able to know what it takes to solve the issues at hand, All right? So the circumstance and the meeting with Sandals, it will be amazing. And I address this public notice. A notice to agents is a notice to principal. So I address this public notice to every single being, to my fellow beings there in the corporate government spaces, be it the central government of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the Tobago House of Assembly, as well as other stakeholders, other NGOs, other organizational bodies and space, even to my fellow indigenous peoples as well, to my indigenous brothers and sisters, for us to be aware of what is occurring and overstand in the jurisdiction parameters of our security, where we are able to rise to a legitimate justice. All right, this is not in the scope of creating any bit of havoc to our operations as a nation. No, it is not. We are the Republic of our nation and nationals of our sovereignty. And it is for us to assume the jurisdiction as such by ensuring that we know the truth and exercise or justice